Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye. I'm just going to read you a few things from this book. This is by Nakula, and it says, okay, horses are useful in warfare. Physically and psychologically, they are uniquely suited for war. They are fearless, sure of their steps, acutely sensitive of the wishes and the predicaments of the rider, quick in perception of the surroundings. They display extraordinary team spirit when acting in concert, and fearlessness in advance when acting alone. They do not lose courage when they are surrounded or are in the middle of riotous elephants, or in the middle of a fire, or in water. They can do without food for any number of days. Some of the famous horses in India, the breed, one of the most famous horses in India breed for many years now, very few, it's getting extinct and they messed up with it, is the Marwadi horse. And Kathiawadi horse. These are two very famous horses. Marwadi horse is very, very famous. It's an amazing horse, and the Western world realizes, but here we have kind of done away with it almost. It's an amazing horse. It's got long eyelashes to, when it runs in the desert sand, eyes will not get affected. It's a certain kind of ears, very special. That when it's running, and the dust storm is blowing in this direction, it can completely 180 degrees. It can turn its ear, so that dust doesn't go into it. It's an amazing horse. All warriors. Only Rajputs used to ride it. Only kings used to ride it, and just because of this, the British ensured that was done. And then later, independent India was even more happy to ensure that these fellows were. They had to the dacoits took it away, kind of thing. It was bad. They are still there around, Kathiawadi and Marwadi horses. But the Britishers, they crossbred it with thoroughbreds. And first thing that happened when they crossbred it was the offspring lost all the special characteristics. The ears were not the same. The thing were not the same, all that. Now, a horse is supposed to be extremely sensitive to its master's happiness and sadness. It knows. It knows the state of mind of the master and is a huge help to the master. Our tradition says that it communicates to Indra about the problems its master is having, etc. And those who have a horse, they will not go a day without going to the stable. Just the smell of the stable, the smell of the horse is supposed to be the most satisfying thing a horse owner can ever have. Talking about the Marwadi horses, it says, such was the terror that they instilled in their enemies, they became the favourite of many rulers, from the Rathod Rajputs in Rajputana to the Sikh ruler Ranjit Singh, known as the Lion of Punjab. They fought valiantly in battle, distinguished themselves for their bravery, courage and daring. Bedecked and bejewelled by their masters, they were respected and loved by all clan members. When Lali Ranjit Singh's favourite mare died in 1837, he ordered a 21-gun salute for her funeral and wept unashamedly. The Marwari fought their last battle with General Allenby in 1917 in Haifa as a part of Jodhpur, Mysore, Gwalior, Jaipur Lancers, presently known in India as the 61st Cavalry Regiment, the only horse cavalry regiment in the world today. Right? Well, there's a lot I brought a lot, but I just thought I'll share a little bit with you, not too much, on the fact that Ashwashastra was a deeply research and applied body of knowledge in India from ancient times. You could make out, for example, the Nakula's book. He says very clearly, you can make out many things about a horse from physical science and how to make out from the color, from the marks, from its smell, from its shape, from its trot, So many things. And how to make out by the teeth. I mean, that's what many, even camels, this thing, etc. Look at the teeth and you make out the emotional characteristics of the horse, sattva, rajas, tamas of the horse. Yeah. Certain types of horses, they'll say only saints should ride it, nobody else. Like that. It'll be purely sattvic, the horse. The Marwari horses will have a lot of rajas. It'll be a warrior horse. Like that. So they'll be able to make out all of that. Like for example, he says, Nakula says how to make out about horse's life. He gives many. One set of characteristics he gives how to make out a horse which will live long. It is horses that sniff in the air, horses that scatter the grass, wag their tails, have a big nose, a broad chest, lotus petal-like tongue. Their sweat is of pleasant odor, and their ear turns red when punched. They will live long. And then from the horses you can make out many things. They give a lot of omens. Like there's going to be no rain, you can make out a horse from a horse's omens. If it's going to be some evil going to come, you can make out. If it's going to be victory, you can make out. If it's going to be defeat, you can make out the horses, omens, etc. All this Nakula will give. Okay. And what do horses like? How should you treat them? How should you not treat them? All that is given in Ashwashastra. They like good water, they like pure water, they like flowers, they like milk, they like galloping. They do not like arbitrarily getting kicked by the rider. They do not like arbitrarily getting whipped by the rider. They do not like a rider who catches onto the neck out of fear. It's a majestic and a noble animal. Okay. Now let's come back to निषधेषु महीपालो वीरसेन इति श्रुतः तस्य पुत्रो भवन्नाम्ना नलो धर्मार्थको विदः. We started there and then we went to रूपवान् अश्वको विदः. He was a man, he was a magic man with horses. Like who else was a magic man with horses? Sri Krishna was. We saw in the war how when the horses were in very bad shape, Arjuna, he told Arjuna to hold the whole world back and calmly and peacefully attended to brushing and then created a surround and to first heal the horses before going on. Krishna was a magic man with horses, as was Nakula. Nakula was a magic man. He used to know every horse by name. 50,000 horses. Yeah, of course. Just like Sahadeva would know every cow. Cows would come running to him. Like that. Brahmanyo Brahmavichuro Nishadeshu Mahipati. Like Indra is above all gods, all deities. Like the sun is above all bodies that shine. Likewise was Nala, the greatest among kings, says Brihadashva to Yudhishthira. Brahmanyo Brahmavichuro Nishadeshu Mahipati Akshapriya Satyavadi Mahanakshauhini Pati Brahmanyo Brahmavichuro Nishadeshu Mahipati. He was a man who was well versed in the Vedas. He knew the Vedas well. Completely. He was a valorous man. He was a Satyavadi. He was a man of truth. He was a leader of a great, huge army. All the greatest qualities resided in him, and he had one small habit. He was Akshapriya. He loved dice. He was a king, and a game of chance was something that he would not say no to. He liked. This is Purva Janma Vasana. What can you say? You can sit in judgment if you want to and call the person names. It's foolish. This is the way it is. He was a Akshapriya. The story of Nala is a very ancient story and it occurs in many places. Of course, it occurs in Mahabharatam, Nalopakhyanam. It occurs in Matsya Puranam, Skanda Puranam, Vayu Puranam, Padma Puranam, Agni Puranam. Everywhere. It's so part of our culture that in all these Puranas it occurs. It occurs in Katha Sarita Sagara, which is a collection of stories. ocean of stories, so to say. And Nalopakhyanam occurs in Mahabharata in 29 chapters. Now, the central theme of Nalopakhyanam is what? What is the message that Nalopakhyanam conveys? It is Dhairyam. Dhairyam. Courage, fortitude, the need to be able to withstand the pressures, the stresses, the distresses of life. Dhairyam. Dhairyam when? Vipadi dhairyam. When you are in deep trouble. When it looks as if you are down and you are out forever. When you are surrounded on all four sides and there is nothing you can do about it. There is no one to reach out to. Then, to Dhairyam. This is the key message of Nalopakhyanam. At a deep level, at a extreme level, but even if not at an extreme level. Nala is considered, why? Also because Nala is considered so holy a person that he is referred to as Punya Shloka. What is Punya Shloka? Who is referred to as Punya Shloka? A person is referred to as Punya Shloka if he or she is considered Pratha Smaraniya. Meaning, first thing you get up in the morning, Brahma Muhurtam, 4:30, 3:30, whatever. You are advised to think of such a person because Prathasmaraniya, our greatest acharyas are called Prathasmaraniya. Ganapati Muni called Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi Punya Shloka. He said away Punya Shloka, he says in his letter. Now there is a shloka about Punya Shloka. It goes like this: Punya Shloko Nalo Raja, Punya Shloko Yudhishthira, Punya Shloka Chavaidehi, Punya Shloko Janardana. So Nala is a Punya Shloka, Raja Yudhishthira is a Punya Shloka, Sita is a Punya Shloka, and Janardana, Sri Krishna, is a Punya Shloka. Such is the holiness of Nala, such is his greatness, that in him resided all great attributes. Rupa, his form, he was a man of great handsome form. Guna, he had all good qualities. Samriddhi, he was very prosperous. He is Bala, he was very strong. Vaibhavam, oh, his fame and his stature, his glory, his prabhava, his effects of whatever he did. Shobha, what do you want to call Shobha? His standing, so to say. His captivity, his charm, his all that. His broad-mindedness, his valor, his dhanashilata, is like Karna, he was a giver. All of these qualities resided in him. He was the knower of all 14 Vidyas, and he did the 4 good things every man should do. He would study, he would practice, he would read, he would understand, he would practice, and he would preach. Like that, all 14 Vidyas. He never used to praise himself. Nobody ever found him praising himself. He was a Kshamavan, forgiving to the extreme. He was Atigambhir, he was a deep man. He was unaffected by praise or slander. He was firm-headed. He was a man of great dignity and self-respect, and he always abided by his word. He was a Satyavadi. He was a Kalamarmagya. All arts. He was an appreciator of all arts. Above all, he was rich, he was powerful, he was handsome, he was affectionate. And on top of all this, he was eligible. He was single. He was not married. Ipsito varanarinam. Ipsito varanarinam. He was the heartfelt desire of every woman who was eligible. Varanarinam ipsita. That said, he was samyatendriya. He was a man with great control of his own senses.